Hey guys, it is Spooky Noodles, and I am here with a book tag. I don't do much of these anymore. I used to do a lot of them, but I think I've been running out of book tags to do. But recently I've seen this one been going around, so I thought while I was looking up, book tags I could do, I found this one. So I found this going around, and I decided to do it. The questions is about leap year or retaining to leap year or somehow connected to leap year, if you know what I mean. And let's just hop right into it. I don't own all of the books that I'm going to mention. In fact, I don't know where all of the books are at the moment. So I'll probably pause the video when I need to grab a book. So you might see a lot of pauses. I'm not sure. But this one I know I don't own for sure. So let's just get into the first question. An extra day. What is one book that brought a little something extra? And for me, it was A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This book brought so much emotion to me at a time where I felt emotionless. I was like a shell of myself, and I felt useless. I thought life was pointless, and I just didn't see the meaning in life. I just beat cancer, and I was looking for jobs, and I felt useless just sleeping on my dad's couch all the time. I was losing tons of weight, and it was hard. It was a really hard time for me. And I read Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, and that book made me feel so many emotions. I laughed, I cried, I really cried. The book, A Monster Calls, I believe that's what it's called, is about this kid whose mother is going through cancer, and meanwhile he finds a monster in the tree. And, like, the monster is the tree. And, basically the monster is telling him stories about, like, telling the kid stories from his past and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the kid's getting bullied at school, his mother's dying, and he is forced to live with his aunt for a little while his mother's in the hospital. And his dad's, at the same time, his dad that divorced his wife and moved to America is now coming back and inserting himself into the family again. So it's a very confusing time for the kid. I felt so bad for the kid, and I felt so many emotions, and the book really caught me off guard with the ending. I have so many. I can't find the copy I own, but my copy has a bunch of, like, water stains on the last page because I cried openly over the book, and it just got me. So, like, yeah, you could say I got a little extra for my a little bit more bang for my buck with that book. Taking a big leap. This is number 2. What is one book that you were afraid to read? For me, it's Jack Ketchum's The Girl Next Door. I saw the movie, and it terrified me as a kid. It opened my eyes to a problem, and I'm just terrified to read the book, because I know a movie only tells you a little bit. The book will go into detail. So if I was afraid of the movie, there's no telling how scared I will be towards the book. So I'm afraid to read Jack Ketchum's The Girl Next Door. In fact, I'm afraid to read any Jack Ketchum, because he's so real, and he's not like what I like, where it's about, like, monsters and stuff like that. I like creature features. I like lately I've been diving into splatterpunk. I just like things that I know are fiction, but when I dive into things that are real, it scares me. And I will read it one day. I will read Jack Ketchum's The Girl Next Door. It's only a matter of time. But I'm just afraid to read it ever since I saw the movie. So, number 3. Every 4 years, what is the 4th book you read this year? And this is where I'm going to have to pause the video real quick. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So the third question was, Every 4 years. What is the fourth book you read this year? My answer is Within the Woods by Tony Urban. This book was phenomenal. I enjoyed every minute of it. I hear some people ranting about it. Some people gave it some poor reviews because it was childish and they thought it was racist at times, and it was just. But that's how kids, I don't understand their beef with it. I enjoyed the book a lot, and it just felt like I was reading from the kids' perspectives, so I thought the author did a great job. I don't understand what people's beef with this book is, but I also see good reviews, so that's good too. I left a good review, and this book's a little dusty, but and obviously I did not take care of it because it's all bended, but it just means it was read well. I enjoyed this book, and I know a lot of people thought it was gross, but I liked it. So that was my fourth book I read this year. All right, number 4. 366 days in a year. Looking at your third shelf, name the 6th book on the shelf, and name the 6th book after that. So, my 6th book on my shelf was Savage Season by Joe R. Lansdale. I just recently put it up there, and it got buried under some books, and it ended up being the 6th book on my shelf. Third shelf, that is. And I hear good things about this book. I've heard a lot of things about this book recently, ever since I posted about it on Books of Horror. A lot of people were telling me how it wasn't horror, and other people were telling me how great the book is. It's part of a Hap and Leonard series. So this is the first of that series, and then the second, I think, is like Macho Mojo or something like that. I forget what the book's called, but I hear good things about Joe R. Lansdale, and I'm going to read this one very soon. Then I'm going to watch the Netflix series, if it's still on Netflix, because I'm very interested in this. The book is a short runtime. Let's see here. It's only 210 pages, so I should be able to breeze through this, even though I haven't been reading hardcore lately. I just read like 10 pages earlier today, so I'm on a roll today, but rolls only can go for so long. Let's put the book over here. Next, I have the sixth one after Savage Season, and that's Totem by Irene M. Ellie. So, I hear great things about this author too. This book in particular, I don't know anything about. It has this really cool die cut cover, or not die cut, but whatever you want to call that. The art on the inside. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if I'm doing it any justice with the video camera, but that's Totem. I don't know what it's about, but I hear some things about it, so that's good. Better than not hearing anything about something. Alright, so number 5. Leaping ahead. Name 4 books that you want to read by the next leap year. So let's answer this question. It has an alternative question, but I'm only going to answer the one. I have a lot of books I'd like to finish by the end of next leap year, but here are some I really want to finish soon. And all of these are on my coming of age TBR. So without further ado, let's start with Mark Morris's Horror Club, which is a coming of age story about these people, like these these kids who are people. And they invite this awkward kid named Toady into their group, and things start to spiral out of control after that, and I cannot wait to read it. It also goes under the name Toady by Mark Morris, so it's the same book. Then I have Neverland by Douglas Clegg. Excuse me. I hear great things about Douglas Clegg. I also have another coming of age novel by him. It's like 4 or 3, I forget. I think it's 3 novellas about coming of age. So, but this one is a coming of age novel that I'm looking forward to. It's about this kid who finds this like little shack or something like that transports into another land or something like that. I don't remember quite well what it's about, but I know that I'm looking forward to it. It's on the tippy top of the list. Like, it's very close to the top. I don't remember where it is on my coming of age TBR, but because I've taken a break from the coming of age TBR, if you haven't noticed. I took a break to do the Women of Horror Month and Black History Month, which I've been juggling it and not doing a great job at reading one or the other. So I'm trying to do my best, though. But I will be reading more coming of age stories as the days progress. Right now, I'm currently stopping my coming of age story that I'm writing to write a more formal, not formal, just a horror story in general. I'm hoping that it turns out well. It's gonna be a lot like I don't know. We'll see. But the point I'm trying to make is that my coming of age grind is gonna be coming back soon, and probably next month. We'll see. But Neverland by Douglas Clegg, I would like to finish by next leap year. Here is J.P. Willey's Blood in the Woods. Now, I hear great things about this one. This one has some great reviews. Someone rated it at 4.5 stars. It just has some blurbs from some people here. And I don't know much about this book. I'm going into it blind when I go into it. Yeah, it's supposedly a coming-of-age story that I need to listen to or read. So I'm going to read it. And then the last book that I want to read before the before next leap year is Bay's End by Edward Lorne. Got an excellent copy here. I don't like the font on the back because you can't read it. But I'm going to attempt to read it. When 12-year-old Trey and his best friend Eddie play a prank on an Officer Mac, the resulting chain of events rocks the small town of Bay's End. Today, Trey Franklin is a man haunted by his past, tormented by that one tragic fateful summer. Trey searches for catharsis the only way he knows how, by writing. A tale of love, loss, and the depths of human evil. Welcome to Bay's End. So that's Bay's End. I'm looking forward to reading it. And it's very high on my coming of age TBR list. My buddy Edward Lorne wrote it, so I told him that one day I would give him an honest opinion of his writing, and I'm going to start with Bay's End. Then I'm going to read The Sound of Broken Ribs. But first things first, I'm going to read this amazing piece of work, which I hope is amazing. I haven't read it, but I'm a little biased because my friend wrote it, but, at the same time, I will be honest. So, yeah. Alright, so that was number 5, right? Number 6 is Leapfrog. Name a book in your TBR that has green in it. This was so hard to figure out because out of all these books that I've shown you, not many of them have green in them. I don't think any of them have green in them. So I looked and looked and looked, and I finally found one that has green in it that I actually started that I need to finish. And that is The New Flesh, which is an anthology edited by Sam Richard and Brandon Vedito. As you can see, these conjoined twins are green, or a certain shade of green. And yeah, I've read a few stories in this anthology so far, and I'm really enjoying it. I just decided to take a break because I was having an overload of David Cronenberg, so I needed to take a break. But yeah, that's The New Flesh as my green book cover. It's not really green, but you know what I mean. That rhymed. And then number 7, Bad Luck. What bookish things do you steer clear from? And my answer is I steer clear from romance in general. It's just not my thing. I don't think I'll ever try romance. It just sounds too yucky. I don't know how to put it. I'm just not a romance dude. So I don't like rom-coms really. I've watched a few rom-coms, but I can't say that I watch them hardcore at all, and I just don't really particularly like romance movies, so I don't think I'd write romance books. I hear they're really cheesy, and I just can't stand them. So maybe it's different for you guys, but that's what I steer clear from. And then the last question is number 8, tag 4 friends. So I want to tag 4 people, but in general, I don't know who to tag because I don't know what their schedules are like, you know? But I'm gonna tag Hauls, Reads, Reviews, and Writes. I'm gonna tag Brad Proctor. I'm gonna tag Written in Blood. And I will tag oh, I'm forgetting his name at the moment. I keep scrolling through my YouTube and I'm not seeing him. Purgatory Paul, that's it. So those are the 4 people I will tag. And that is the end of the book tag. The leap year book tag, I believe it was called. Let me look one more time. I could be wrong. Yeah, it's the leap year book tag. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Books mentioned here were Savage Season by Joe R. Lansdale, Totem by Irene M. Ellie, The Horror Club by Mark Morris, Neverland by Douglas Clegg, Blood in the Woods by J.P. Willey, Bay's End by Edward Lorne, The New Flesh edited by Sam Richard and Brandon Vendito, Patrick Ness's A Monster Calls, and is it here? Where did I put it? Within the Woods by is that not here? Within the Woods by Tony Urban. Oh, there it is. I see it now. Those are the books mentioned. They're all pretty good books, I think. I haven't read them yet, so I wouldn't know. Most of them I haven't read. I've read a little bit of The New Flesh. I've read Within the Woods. I thought it was great. I gave it 4 stars. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this book tag. I'm looking for more book tags to do, so I'm gonna be browsing the internet. Maybe you might see another book tag. I'm not sure. But yeah. So, anyways, I hope you guys have a good day. I hope you have a spooky night. I'll see you in the next video. Peace, guys.
Now I am become death, the destroyer